Welcome back. It is time to Factor Quadratics. All right, you guys ready? Here we go. Let's get right into it. So let me pick up a pencil here. Let's start with the first one. And remember, if I'm writing it down, you need to be writing it down because it'll help you remember. So we got x squared plus 9x plus 18. Okay. So pay attention at all these little notes. So we're going to factor this quadratic. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create this x over here. Okay, because I'm going to plug in some values here. It's going to help me factor this quadratic. So the first thing you need to do is multiply these two numbers together. 18 times x squared. That right there equals 18x squared. Of course, that right there becomes my top number. Okay, that goes in here. So 18x squared. The bottom number is easy. It's just this middle one, right? So 9x. All right. Now we need to find the wings. So this is where your multiplication comes in. So you're asking yourself, what two numbers can I multiply together to give me 18x squared? And those same two numbers have to equal 9 when I add them up. Okay? So this should be pretty simple because they're both positive. So now I'm thinking of all my factors that give me 18, right? So like 2 times 9, right? 2 times 9 equals 18, but if I add them up, they don't equal 9. So I know those are not going to be it. So then 1 times 18, of course, that doesn't work. How about 3? 3 times 6, that gives me 18. And if I add them up, it does give me 9. Okay, that's pretty simple. So I got 3 and 6. Now, which one goes where? It doesn't matter. So 3 and 6. But notice, it's got to give me x squared. So that means that this has to have an x, this has to have an x, because 3x plus 3x times 6x gives me 18x squared. And 3x plus 6x gives me 9x. So those are my two answers. Okay, great. I'm pretty much done at this point. So all I'm going to do now is set this up right here. And I'm going to spread them open. I'll spread them apart. So the x and the 3. So they're both positive. So x plus 3. The other one is 6x. So it's x plus 6. And you're done. You just factor that quadratic. Ooh, watch out. Pretty good, huh? Pretty easy. All right, let's take a look at another one. All right, so this next one is a little different. What you'll notice here is that my leading coefficient here is a 3. Before it was just x squared, which means it was a 1. And so we skipped a step at the end, which was divide everything by my leading coefficient. Not everything, but the wings here by my leading coefficient. Because I would get the same answer if it was 1. So anything greater than 1, at the end, you're going to end up dividing by that leading coefficient. Okay, so first, let's start off just like we did last time. So we're going to do 3 times negative 8. And that's going to give me a negative 24. That one goes up here. Then my center number just goes down here at the bottom. So that's 10. Now, notice last time I put the x's, I was just trying to show you where they go. They don't disappear. I mean, this is still x squared and this is still x. Once you get comfortable with it, like me, I don't even write them in anymore. But for explanation purposes, I'll go ahead and write them in. Now, I'm looking for two factors that I can multiply to equal negative 24 that also add up to 10. So, pretty simple. 12 and 2, right? So, 12 times 2. Now, 12 times 2 is positive 24. That means one of these numbers here has to be negative. It doesn't matter. We're going to make the 2 negative. Actually, it does matter because once I add them, they still need to equal 10. And if I add these two right here, this is the only way that they'll equal 10. Okay? So, losing train of thought here. So now, what I told you was the last step that we skipped last time because my leading coefficient was 1. Now I have to divide both of these numbers by 3. So my new, we'll pull it up here a little bit. My new x values here, this is 24x squared 10x. But this, I'm going to divide each one by 3 here. Okay? So as you can see, this one simplifies, of course. 12 divided by 3 gives me 4. And that's my 4x there. Now this one here doesn't simplify. It stays the same because it's already simplified. So that's negative 2 over 3. All right. Now at this point, I am ready to write my final answer here. So what I want you to see, in fact, this one here that I wrote a 4, just for explanation purposes, let's go ahead and write it as a fraction, which is over 1. So the 1, the denominator, becomes my coefficient here, coefficient of x. So 1x is just 1x. You can write the 1 there. You don't have to. And then the top number is 4. So that's a positive 4. So there we go. X plus 4. All right. Do the same thing with the second one here, which is my 2/3. Again, my denominator is my leading coefficient. So that's 3x. And the top number is a minus 2. So minus 2. And there you go. We have factored this. Oops. How do you do that? Oh my goodness. Let me pause this. Okay, I got it back. I don't know how I did that there. But there we go. We got our final answer here. Okay. X plus 4 times 3x minus 2. Right? I hope that this right here made sense for you. But that you only have to do when you have a leading coefficient that's greater than 1. Because if it is 1 and I divide everything by 1, I still get the same answer. Obviously, you know that by now. All right. How about one last one? Let's do one last one real quick. All right. Okay. So honestly, the other one looked kind of sloppy. So I wanted to do another one just to make sure. Now this one, again, you can see my leading coefficient here is a 4. So it's similar, very similar to the last one. Just the same, different numbers. If you want, pause the video and see if you can solve it yourself. Then go ahead and hit play. So let's get started. And make sure you're taking notes. Always take notes. Here we go. 4 times 3. That's going to give me 12. My middle number is negative 8. So we're going to put negative 8 here. Now, what two numbers can I multiply to get a positive 12 and at the same time add to give me negative 8? So I can do 4 times 3 is 12, but it doesn't give me 8. 4, 2... Wow, I'm having a hard time thinking right now. So it looks like that's going to be 6 and 2. 6 and 2. 6 times 2 gives me 12. If I add them right now, it gives me a positive 8. I need a negative 8. So that means both of these will be negative, because if I add both of them, I get a negative 8. And if I multiply them, it give me a positive 12. So great. I have both of them. Now, just like in the last problem, we're going to divide both wings by my leading coefficient, which is 4. So let's divide here by 4. And let's divide here by 4. So this time I'm just going to take these down here and simplify them. So they have in common a 2. So 6 divided by 2 gives me negative 3 over 4 divided by 2 is 2. This one here, they have in common a 2, obviously. So negative 2 divided by 2 equals a negative 1 over 4 divided by 2 equals 2. All right. So there we have it. Let's make some room here. And let's go ahead and write here our final answer. Let's go with the first one here. All right. So our first one, remember, the denominator is my leading coefficient. That one goes here. And don't forget about the x's. I'm not writing the x's right now like I did in the first example, but they're there, okay? So 2x, and this is a minus 3, so minus 3. Next one is a 2x, and that's a minus 1, so minus 1. and done. That's simple. You have factored quadratics. Huh? Who knew you'd be so smart? I'm telling you, I'm trying to make these as easy as possible. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button, and please share even if you can. After all, I'm making these videos for you. They're free. All right. Hey, thank you guys so much for coming by. And don't forget to join me. I make videos every week, right? Sometimes multiple times a week because I love talking about math. All right. You guys have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.